Welcome to the Paws Perspective,
the podcast where we help dog owners feel calmer, clearer and more confident by understanding what's really going on behind their dog's behaviour.
We're Pat and Molly from Flying Paws Dog Training, and each episode we break down behaviour, training and real life challenges in a way that actually makes sense.
From puppies and adolescents, breed traits and everyday training struggles, we focus on working with your dog's instincts, not against them.
Whether you're trying to prevent problems before they start, or you're feeling stuck and not sure what to do next,
you're in the right place.
So grab a coffee, clip on the lead,
and let's get into today's episode.
Good afternoon, Molly. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. We thought we'd do another little podcast, and what did we think we might talk about today?
We thought we might talk about that you're not failing your dog.
What do we mean by that?
We mean that most of the time everyone is doing things with good intentions, but often the problem comes because we're expecting too much.
Happens pretty easy, really, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yeah.
So I guess one of the biggest things that we see now and can help with those unrealistic expectations is social media.
Yeah.
It's a big one, isn't it?
It's quite big.
We see lots of things and we just haven't got TV. It's Facebook, isn't it? Instagram, all the reels that we see.
Yeah.
So often they show the perfect dog, don't they? Fantastic recall.
Yep.
Dog might be calm somewhere in a busy environment, that sort of thing. And sometimes as well, the other thing that we see is you can fix it really quickly, can't you?
Yeah.
So often it's not quite that easy, is it?
Not usually if you want to do it in, let's say, a nice way.
You might be able to fix it in some ways.
You're probably not fixing it.
No.
Anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
What don't we see when we see those things on social media? What are the things that we can't actually see? Because they're only a snippet, isn't it? Like you're the marketing person. How long is a reel meant to be to catch people to watch it?
Like the first 3 seconds have to engage you. But like anything with social media, it's a highlights reel.
Yeah.
And I think we are a lot more savvy to that as a society now.
But we still watch it though, don't we?
Oh, of course we do. Yeah, of course we do. But there's lots of things that you don't see, like you've mentioned.
Yeah, what don't we see?
Well, quite often you might not see the environment set up. So, the dog might be able to do it perfectly in that environment and really struggle somewhere else.
Yep.
A reinforcement history.
Yeah.
We've been doing our World Ready setup, which we're about to. We can't quite talk about it yet, but stay tuned if you've been following that on Facebook because we're about to announce something really exciting with that.
Yep.
Fox does have a reinforcement history of a check-in. He's been rewarded for check-ins since he was 9-10 weeks old because he offered them.
Yeah.
And I knew that's what I wanted, so I rewarded check-ins. Doesn't mean he does it perfectly everywhere.
No.
It just means that the videos we're putting up, they are the highlights reel of him doing check-ins in certain situations.
But again, and I guess we're getting off the subject a bit here, but this is where, coming back to when you get a dog, some of us know exactly what we want. Some of us
a lot of us do.
Some of us just want, a dog we can good for the family, we can throw in the car, take it on holiday, go for a walk. But sometimes we want a little bit more maybe, and we know how to get it. So as soon as we get the pup, we start doing those things automatically, which is pretty much what you've done with Fox. So when we talk about that reinforcement history, you took him out right from when you first got him.
Yeah.
And rewarded a lot of calm behaviour in a lot of environments to get what you want.
Yeah.
Which is now what people are seeing.
Yeah. And what ties into that too, I think, and something else people don't see is individual dog temperaments.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I've said on here before, and I'll say it to anybody who asks or I'm talking about it, I'm very lucky with him,
Yeah.
and I'm not under any false pretenses about being lucky with him, but I also, like to think that I picked a breeder, even if maybe it wasn't the way a lot of people would go about picking a breeder,
Mhm.
but I picked a breeder that I trusted, and I trusted in what she told me, and she was
Spot
pretty
on.
much right about him, you
Yeah.
know, because she knows what she's looking at. Um, but a lot of things you see on social media are heavily managed or staged.
Yeah, and that goes, for some of the dog shows you see too. Some of those, not just well, I suppose that is social media, but TV as well
You
as
may as well just name it.
Facebook. No, I won't name it, but there's one that, is on TV at times, and the gentleman who's English, fixes the problems very quickly.
You pretty much just named it. But anyway, I think the most important thing to take away with social media is you are comparing your everyday life to someone's highlight reel.
Yeah,
And that's even like I will say as the person that does our social media, that includes our social media. But I'm also really big on putting up posts of Fox not being perfect.
yeah.
You know, like the other day you might have seen our stories, like I was just mucking around with him. We had some of the equipment left over from the fun day, and did he jump the jump? No.
No.
He went underneath it like an idiot.
A lot easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Haven't even gotta lift yourself off the ground.
Or, you know, we've done some middle ones where I ask him to go in middle and he goes into middle the wrong way. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I could put up the perfect photos of him videos of him doing middle. He loves
Yeah,
middle.
he does.
But, you know, we do that with him because people see a dog in an environment that he's used to. He's used to being at school.
Mm,
He's used to doing the demos. You know, we tell you that in classes. But he does look very well behaved, but he just knows the pattern
yeah.
of the classes and what he needs to do when. So,
Mm. And, I think Zane's a bit the same. He's, doesn't do classes, but he does private lessons,
yeah.
and he can do things in that environment because 'cause he's been there since he's 8 weeks old,
Mm,
that he might struggle with, elsewhere, and
mm,
we've talked about that in different podcasts as well.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's a big one. Social media can be good, but, yeah, can also, yeah, be interesting sometimes. So,
Yeah.
just need to realise it is a highlights reel. Uh,
Or it's showing what the person wants you to see. It might not be
yeah,
the highlights reel, but it can be manipulated,
yeah, well, that's a good point.
to look like something it's not, like reality TV,
Yeah,
you know? Um, or they'll s I'm gonna go off on a tangent, I'll finish with this. They might say something, and they say they're going down one line, and then a few weeks later, they'll completely change what they're saying to fit a mold of where
yeah,
they are at that time. So, yeah, it's worth just checking everything out on someone's social media before you decide whether you're gonna
good.
listen to them.
Yeah, yep, definitely. Um, Another thing, that we often do, and it's sort of hard, I guess, as humans, um, sometimes we compare the dog that we've got now with one that we had previously.
Or a friend's dog.
Yep. Yeah, I think the big one in puppy class, which haven't actually had anyone say for a while, but they'll, they might be struggling a bit with toilet training, and they'll say, "Oh, I was talking to my friend, and their pup, didn't wee inside after it was 9 weeks old, and
Yeah,
mine's still weeing inside, and it's 16 weeks old." Like that's different dogs, aren't
yeah,
they?
yeah,
So,
and there's so much at play
mm, with
besides them just being different dogs. There's genetics, there's early experiences, there's arousal levels, there's sensitivities, there's the environment they're in.
mm.
But all comparing does is make you frustrated. It adds pressure that wouldn't be there,
Yeah.
and it usually makes you rush your training because you think you should be somewhere where you're not.
Yeah, you often think you should be, halfway up the hill or at the top of the hill instead of, still putting along down the bottom. So it does put pressure on us, and I think in
Which
today's world we've got enough pressure without adding more to it.
but that pressure gets passed on to the dog.
Yeah, exactly. Because then when it doesn't do something in a certain environment, um, you're getting frustrated because someone told you or you think that you should be somewhere, yeah, and then you get frustrated with the dog, and the dog's just saying, "Well, I'm not sure about this,
Yeah.
I didn't sleep well last night, I can't do it today," or, it's a bit overwhelming in this environment, so.
Yeah, and it might be, you've had that breed, but they're completely different lines
Oh,
or
and
completely different parents from
this
the same breeder.
yeah, this is the big thing, isn't it? You might get the same breed, and a lot of people do stick to the same breed. I've obviously stuck to the same breed, because you like that sort of a dog, but every dog you get's totally different.
Yeah,
So, yeah, you just can't compare them to friends' dogs or to your previous dog. You can talk about the differences, and we often do that. We'll compare in that way how they're different, but you can't say, "Oh, I wish I had this because my last dog did this and this one won't do that." And
yeah, it's comparing for analysis, not
yeah,
comparing for in a hypercritical way.
like,
Yeah,
so I think, yeah, give the dog a break. It's its own dog. As you said, genetics, experiences, all that sort of stuff, plays a big role.
yeah.
Um What what sort of expectations, um, do we have for our dog?
Some people have a lot, but I think it's expectations versus capacity, isn't it?
And what do we mean when we say that?
Well, it's expecting the dogs to be able to perform, for lack of a better word, beyond their current ability.
Yeah, and that can happen for a few different reasons
Yeah, it
really,
can.
can't it? Like,
Yeah,
so I suppose a big one that we get is, recall
yeah,
because
loosely walking,
yeah.
walking.
Yep, those sort of ones because that's what people wanna, just do. Sometimes it's, might even be calm greetings, things like that,
Yeah,
or being calm somewhere. So, um, with a recall, it's pretty hard if you go down the beach and there's seagulls flying around and you want your dog to come back and there's a heap of other dogs.
if
Um,
it's your dog.
my dog, yeah, he loves seagulls and birds, glass, anything really.
I was walked past the pigeons under the bridge this morning.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Zan would have said hello,
yeah.
would have
When we
barked
came
at him.
back, there was some on the ground, and he just kept walking.
Mm.
He's not really a bird dog.
No, he's not. Zen loves them. Mm.
Because they move.
Yeah, his favourite job would be at Sydney, near the Opera House, chasing the birds away. Anyway,
But if you expected him to recall in those certain situations,
yeah, not pretty
actually, they
hard.
don't just have them in Sydney anymore, they've got him in Melbourne
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
at Pet Square. Just interrupting my own
yeah, I
train of
did
thought.
remember that. So there is a possibility we could be going to live in Melbourne or Sydney soon. So just for Zen,
Oh, okay. Righto. Um,
giving some work
what
experience.
was I saying before that? What did I say?
uh,
You can't remember either, can
yeah,
you?
if I expected him
Oh,
to,
that's alright. Yeah, yeah. You'd both be very well, Zan wouldn't be frustrated, he'd be having a great time, but
yeah.
you'd be frustrated.
Oh, look, yeah, I probably wouldn't because I know what he's like, but, yeah, I'm gonna do some recalls with him to practice, being better around those sorts of things, but I'm not gonna stick him in the middle of the pack of flying seagulls because I know it's too hard.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you did,
Oh, yeah, he
you would
wouldn't.
get
Of course I
frustrated.
would. Yeah, because he wouldn't do it. Well, I don't think
But
he'd do it.
it's information.
Yeah,
All of
that's
these things are information that something is not working and we need to adjust.
yeah, and it's not the dog being stubborn or anything like that, it's just too much distraction probably, or too hard.
Yeah.
Loose lead walking's the other one too, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we often want to go for a walk with our dog. Again, well, the recall you want to start where there's no distraction, so backyard, something like that, down the park when there's not much happening.
You wanna do the same
Um,
with loose lead walking
that's
though.
exactly what I was going to say. Yep, start where it's easy, even inside.
Mm.
Get it happening because you've got to work out what you're going to do, what you're going to reward, all that sort of stuff. So do it somewhere where it's easy, no distractions, and then gradually build in those distractions. So that's a big thing.
Yes.
Um, calm greetings. So again, if you've got a person that's going to go, "Oh gosh, look at that, aren't you gorgeous?" That's gonna excite the dog, isn't it?
Yeah, if they struggle with readings, yes.
So, things like that, you want to, have some people that are gonna help you out, but are gonna stay calm to help calm the dog as well. So, we practice a few of those in our classes, don't we? Because it's a good skill to have.
We do, but it all they all 3 of these things just tie back to what is the dog currently capable of,
Yeah, exactly.
and working from there.
Mm, yep, definitely. Um, so sometimes we need to adjust the criteria.
Mhm.
And what does that exactly mean when we talk about criteria?
Well, I suppose this is where the shift starts to happen, isn't it? When
Mhm,
you look at what your dog is doing,
mhm,
what you'd possibly like them to do,
mhm.
and where the gap is.
Yep.
And you need to take it right back to the start of the gap and go, okay, so our dog comes halfway, then gets distracted. Let's,
Mm,
let's work from there. It might look at a dog and disengage for a second. It might
yeah,
not even check back in with you. It might just choose to disengage.
yeah,
That's a win.
yep,
Walks nicely for 2 steps.
yep,
That would have been nice for Fox this morning, but anyway.
yep.
Um,
And I said, this like, having a criteria is where you is your expectation really, isn't it?
yeah,
So, with your walks, you've just said, "Walk nicely for 3 steps." You might have wanted to walk nicely for 10 steps, but then in that environment,
it's too hard.
it's too hard. So that's where you adjust your criteria.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's where I've been told sometimes to adjust my criteria with Zam when we're doing scent work. Occasionally, I might have expected a tad too much of him.
Hi, Melinda.
Um, but, yeah, so all of us have to learn to adjust our criteria sometimes, I think.
Mm.
So that's a big one. Yeah, just going, "Okay, that was a bit hard. Let's make things easier and take those as wins and then take them away."
And build things back in slowly.
Yeah, it's always slow
Well,
and
it's not
steady.
always slow. You shouldn't
Mm,
say it's always slow.
no, slow and steady wins the race, so,
It
mm,
does, but it's not always slow.
no. But we wanna build in duration.
Yep.
We wanna build in some distance,
Yeah.
so that might be, a bit longer recall, it might be a bit longer loose lead walking, that sort of thing.
Yep.
And we wanna build in the distractions.
Yep.
So start easy and then build them in. Um, the other thing probably as with everything, and I think we've talked about this in one of our other podcasts, is, um, zooming out a bit. And what do we mean when we talk about zooming out? Zooming the picture out.
Well, it's just looking at everything as a whole.
Yep.
So, like you said, you're loosely walking. Like Fox's was a bit crap this morning. I'll
Yeah.
be honest. But I didn't have his normal lead. I'm not quite sure where his normal lead is, so I had to use the shorter lead. So he didn't have as much freedom to
Freedom.
move, which was probably a big part of it. But what are you looking at him like that for?
You can see his little teeth. He's a little down there asleep.
Well, how much sleep he had a good night's sleep last night, so that wasn't the problem.
Yep.
Um,
Stress levels.
stress levels, we had been into the pet shop before, and he doesn't like when the dryer's going in the pet shop.
Mm.
The dryer was going. He was
So,
he was okay in there, like, he was a bit like, do I have to go over there?" But, and then he had a car ride from Devonport over to Ulverston before we went for a walk, but that's gonna play a
yeah,
little part in it.
yeah,
The routine, our walk routine has been a little out of whack this year just because of external factors.
yep.
And the environment, we did go somewhere slightly different this morning.
Mm.
So, I would say that probably the dryer in the pet shop going, the
Yep.
blow dry, like the hair dog blow dryer, and the environment. It's not a new environment, but just an environment he hasn't been to for a while. He was probably just a little bit overstimulated.
Yeah, yeah,
So, like, it annoyed me, but I wasn't,
yeah, you
I wasn't
sorta
that worried about it.
yeah, and that's what zooming out is though, isn't it? Like, you
There's an
know
explanation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you're going for your walk, instead of getting too frustrated, think, "Okay, what else has happened?"
Yeah.
They might be a bit overtired, might be a bit overstimulated. So, yeah, That's sort of an important one to think about when you go for your walk. Okay, what's happened previously?
Yeah, because a dog that's overtired, overstimulated, or is constantly allowed to practice behaviors that we don't want, they can't learn what to do effectively or
No,
what you would like
what
them to
to
do
do. Mm,
effectively. So sometimes, and we have a whole podcast on this, so we won't go too much more into this, but sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to do less
yeah,
or not do it at all.
yeah, exactly. Yep. So,
And that's why we went for a 25-minute walk this morning
mm,
rather than what we normally would go for.
yeah, which is a bit longer.
Mm.
Yeah, so definitely, yeah, have a bit of a think about what else is, what are those external factors that might have something to do with why they're doing the things they are, and they're the sort of things that you're looking for when you zoom out. Um, so I guess importantly, you know, the dog's not broken.
Oh,
Um, you're not behind. You're not doing the wrong thing.
no.
There are things to take away from what we've been talking about. The big thing is it's information.
Yeah, and going back to the start of this where we talked about social media, and as you said,
Mm,
you often see the fixed loose lead walking
mm,
in a day, or
oh,
your dog
yeah,
will be reliably recalling in a week, all of these
mm,
sorts of things. But often those things come from connection,
yeah,
and that's a lot longer to build,
mm,
or harder potentially to build than a day or a week. So real progress is quiet
yep,
and it's slow
yep,
and it's a lot less perfect than what you're gonna see on social media.
definitely, yeah. So have a think this week, guys. What you might like to do. Take one little behaviour maybe, and just make it a little bit easier. Work a little bit on it, and see how you go.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, sounds good.
Mm. All right. If you've enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. Don't forget to follow us, and so we can get out there to more people. Interestingly, today we are number 51 on Belgium.
Wrong country.
Oh, what was it?
You wanna have another crack?
No, Denmark.
Oh, good job.
Yeah,
Yep. I was gonna say you're in the right region, but are Denmark and Belgium even close? I don't know, they're both European.
yeah. On
I
their
did geography at school.
oh yeah, you're good then, aren't you? Yeah. What are we number? We're 51
Yeah.
in Denmark.
I don't even think I could point to Belgium on a map or Denmark. That's sad,
Oh,
isn't it?
that's sad.
Well,
Hmm.
could you?
Yeah, that's where old Mary lives now, Denmark.
Yeah, but could you point to it on a map?
Well, I haven't got a map in front of me, so.
I'll get you up a map.
All right. Well, that's us.
'Cause you don't wanna point. Oh, they're kinda close. Yeah, they're close.
Okay.
Germany's sort of in the middle.
We'll tell you what number we are in Germany next week. 51, Denmark. Go Denmark.
You're pretty impressed with that.
Well, world domination. Sounds good.
Alright.
All right, guys, don't forget to follow us and leave us that review. Don't forget also check out our shop. We've got lots of things for sale, and if you're interested, we've got ebooks.
Mhm.
Us.
Yep.
Bye.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.